Hey, this is Egoism. We're going over our debut album, And Go Nowhere. This is an album we wrote about growing up in Sydney and just living through a lot of different things, living through trauma, living through various failed friendships, partners, and it's a story of our lives up until this point, essentially, and we're going to talk about it.
We kind of always knew it was like the one. And then the music video, we planned it for a really long time. We wanted to do a story music video because we found that, especially in like 2024, no one was doing like story music videos, like MTV kind of like, this is a narrative. It was a bit of a risk and it ended up paying out massively, which was completely unexpected. But the song was a nightmare to make. Like, it was actually like, we went through like 4 different versions of it. I just posted a snippet of it to the story, to the Instagram story, where it's like the original version. It's like 10 BPM slower. But it was like me in my car, just in the Honda Civic, just parked in a graveyard and just like screaming into a mic.
It was a nightmare. I think you made like 20 versions.
The intro was always the same. And we'd play it and I'd see the crowd bopping like they'd start, and then we'd come in and suddenly the energy would dissipate and I was like, we haven't figured it out.
True.
We haven't figured it out yet. And now it's like we play it and the crowd's bopping the whole time, which is why I'm confident in it.
The original demo you sent me was is still so good.
Really?
Yeah, to me anyways. I really liked it. I really loved it. When you sent it to me, I hate to say it, but I knew that it was a great song. Because I just remember you walking into the studio being like, I think I figured it out.
Yeah.
And then we listened to it, I was like, hey, this is good, this is very good. And then, hey Adam, can you write drums for this on the spot? And I was like, oh my goodness, okay,
Yeah.
I will try to do that. And I eventually got around to doing it. And the version that people are hearing is this kind of like, really,
Off the cuff.
Off the cuff.
Yeah, fully, yeah.
Like I still have that piece of paper that I used to map out the song.
Oh God, there was this one point I was like looking at I think it was at like a party or something like that, and I just was feeling really drunk and I went to the bathroom and I was like looking through lyrics and I just was convinced that the song was like total melodramatic crap. And then I was like, no, it's like, it's real, like it's actually honest, it's sincere, like you gotta stick to that. I think that's such a lesson with lyrics, is sometimes you have to kind of just be the most sincere version of yourself and just stick to what you're actually feeling instead of thinking about what anyone else would expect of you as a person, as a character. Sydney was super collaborative. Like that's actually probably one of the most collaborative songs on the entire album.
It's like someone hugging my ears.
It's very warm.
You know, it's very warm, and the chorus is just so lovely, and it's a simple structure. It's like verse, chorus, double chorus, like really nice. Yeah, I remember hearing it for the first time being like, yeah, this is cool.
Initially, because when you improvised like the melody, the first line that you sung was, here's to the things that make you feel small.
Yeah.
And then as soon as we started actually knuckling down the lyrics, it was like, here's to the city that makes you feel small.
Yeah.
But by that time we were like, we didn't want to call it Here's to the City because we were like, that sounds a bit strange. So we called it Getting Off This Ride. And then as we were recording the album, that's when we decided, hey, we've got one song about Melbourne, we've got one song about Sydney. Why don't we just call them Sydney and Melbourne instead of Getting Off This Ride? And Melbourne was called You're Welcome? Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. The reason why the Sydney has certain lyrics are just because of like so many random things that were happening at the time. So, for example, Melaleuca line in the street, that just came from the fact that at the time in my job I was working with someone who was really into trees and would always ask me what sort of trees everyone was, and so I'd like send a photo to my dad who knows that stuff, and he'd be like, oh, that's this type of tree and that's this type of tree. And then I sort of realised that like how many Melaleucas are everywhere and how quintessentially Sydney they are.
Yeah.
And so there was just this moment of just like sort of thinking Melaleuca line the street, and I was like, that's that sounds really good. It feels really good. It's like got that L alliteration.
Well, the Sydney music video we did ourselves with our friend Ben.
Yeah.
And that was the first music video that he ever made. We thought we were just making a visualizer, and then we just kept going out. Like, we kept going out to shoot to make a visualizer and being like, we can do better. Let's just shoot a music video, like fully lip sync and drive across the harbour bridge over and over, like hanging outside of a car.
That was one of the best experiences ever. Like, if you are a kid who grew up in Sydney, tell me that when you were a child going over the harbour bridge, like if you ever went over it, especially at night, that all you wanted to do was not stick your head out the window and just like a dog, just be a dog and like sing a song. Like, that was one of the most, literally, I remember like trying to look more serious because I kept beaming, like this full smile, and it was so fun doing that. It was like a dream come true, really.
I'm very jealous because I had to do that, but I had to drive the car at the same time, so I was there like, fuck. Like, don't crash off the side of the harbour bridge. How Does It Appear? That also went through like a total transformation. It initially was like really sad. Like, it used to sound really like I was singing like very melodramatic, and then we lowered the we tried recording it lower, and I didn't really like the way it sounded, but I liked the way that I sung the chorus, and so we just took those vocals and pitched them up 2 semitones, and suddenly it took away the absolute like level of sincerity that was bothering me about that song, because it's just the lyrics are just so dark, and I was like, I need some kind of escape here, and we just kind of kept going with that. Like, it ended up becoming this very quite jangly song. Like the drums are recorded in a rehearsal studio.
Yeah, there's one of the only songs where we didn't use the studio recording of the drums. Yeah. We actually ended up using the demo drums.
Yeah, because it had this more kind of roomy, upbeat quality.
It just had this raw energy that I think sometimes the demo version of something can have, which actually, that's a common theme throughout the album. Is I feel like almost every song has like an element that we kept from the first demo or the second demo or something. We did the live video. We got our friend Nathan, who's currently filming this as well.
Nathan, show yourself.
Show yourself.
Nathan reveal.
Nathan reveal.
We got him to come to our show at UTS Loft in Sydney for the 2008 Honda Civic tour and shoot us playing that song. And then we also got another friend with a camcorder in the audience to also film just from the audience. And then Nathan edited it together and turned into a great official video. I think that's the term we used.
Yeah.
Kind of a live video, kind of not a live video, but it's good. I like it.
Yeah, so I heard. I think that's also one of the only songs where we just used a drum loop.
Yeah, I didn't drum. I drummed at the end of it only.
End,
yeah, only at the end. But up until breakdown something or other, that was a loop drum. I didn't even record that in the studio, and I kind of forgot how I wrote the breakdown. To be honest with you, it's pretty much
came from like a loop that I had. And I was just like, do you want to do like a version of this, essentially?
It's not really going to make sense, but I like kind of made it into like a paradiddle thingy. Just a drum rudiment thing, and then I did some stuff. And,
for all the drum nerds watching this,
I was really into Steve Gadd.
I think I was very much wanting to write a song about this idea of like seeing a former person that you had a connection with, someone that you used to have a connection with out in the city. I think that's like a real theme of the album, a real theme of And Go Nowhere, is this kind of idea of, growing up in a big city and never really leaving, and just kind of being constantly exposed to your entire life in everyday circumstance, like as if there's like ghosts following you around everywhere you go.
I think about a lot of my favorite band albums, like albums by bands and things, especially ones that look back on those sorts of more nostalgic coming of age albums in a way. And a lot of them are so like about growing up in suburbia. But there is that different perspective when you grow up in a city. You know, it's very different where like one of my first memories is getting lost on King Street, Newtown, which is where all like so many shows and like cafes and restaurant, like, you know, cafes and shops and, you know, people end up going to in Sydney. It's like it's a very concentrated area for that. But it's also like, I remember going there as a kid for doctor's appointments and to the dentist. And also I remember going there to watch a movie with my friends for the first time without my parents, or getting drunk like in the parks behind, you know, it's everything. It's my whole life, as well as my current reality and my job. Like my job is a lot of the time based with music in the same spot, in the same area. And that's a very different experience. It's a very different type of coming of age. So this song actually wasn't, we called it Melbourne because we kind of realized that we had one song that was about Sydney, and this song was tangentially about Melbourne.
Oh, I know, yeah, it's always the problem because everyone thinks it's like specifically about people from Melbourne. I'm like, it's not about people from Melbourne,
No.
it's about people from Sydney who moved to Melbourne.
Yeah, exactly. So
Sorry, I took that line from you.
Yeah, that's okay. It's essentially, it's about the fact that like a lot of the time there is this sort of snobbery when it comes to Melbourne over Sydney, because Sydney is a little bit more touristy, it's a bit more expensive, it's a bit more flashy and rich, and it's a little bit more normie, I guess, and then Melbourne's like a bit cooler. As a result, a lot of the time there is this sort of snobbery where people will be like, well, I'm moving to Melbourne from Sydney, you know, it's like, oh, well, I'm gonna move to Melbourne, like, I'm over Sydney, you know. But, you know, and a lot of the time is like, I get it because it's cheaper and there might be really good opportunities there, what have you. But at the same time, there is this specific type of person that you tend to run into. You know, basically a lot of the time in creative industries, there are these sorts of leeches who act really cool.
Leeches is crazy.
There are these sorts of people, and they basically, they come in and they like, you know, they're very charming, they're very lovely, and they get involved in a whole bunch of, with a whole bunch of lovely young creatives who maybe don't know better, don't see the signs. And then they end up burning all their bridges, and they fuck people over, and they end up being like, oh, well, no, Sydney's gotten too small, I'm gonna move to Melbourne. But really the reason why they're actually moving to Melbourne is because no one here wants them anymore. You know, unfortunately, being in music, especially when we were younger, we used to experience a lot of them, and a lot of the time they would be older than us and they would seem so cool, but then, you know, we'd sort of see the way that they'd screw us over and all our friends. And that was sort of us reflecting on it, like especially as I started to get older and closer to the ages that these men who were hanging out with us when we were like 20, 19, 21, being like, holy fuck, what were they doing?
Yeah.
Geez, they really did have to leave before we sort of turned on them.
Yeah.
But it's sort of
Adam looks hot in the music video for Melbourne. That's why you should watch it.
We gotta edit that out.
Don't edit that out. If you edit that out, I'll kill you.
I was playing acoustic and just recording it on my phone, and I just came up with that one little thing. I'll show you. Just give me the
Wait,
the guitar.
No, this one.
I think I had the G string missing, like on this one, and it's like you're just doing drop D like all of our songs, and it's like that's like a.
What came first, the beat or the guitar?
The guitar. It's all based around that one guitar loop, which is why it starts with that, and it's all just a voice recording. It's had a bunch of like electronic kind of like little drum machine things that I'm on it. Like everyone has like friends in high school specifically where it's like there's always something going wrong. There's always a new crisis
for you to kind of listen to from whenever you hang out. And this song specifically was about one of those friends. I think I was really experiencing that at the time and doing a bit of a shed, doing a bit of like okay, it's time to make friends that actually are in control of their lives.
Yeah, I think my favorite lyric from that song is there's something about the time that we spent together lying in our own respective misery, like trauma's a contest.
Yeah, it's a banger.
So
Such a good line.
genius.
Thank you. Yeah, it's definitely a song about growing up.
I love the drum part you wrote too. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like it's like a trap beat, but it's got like
I was making a lot of
cool
I was
patterns.
making a lot of trap beats at the time, but they didn't sound like trap beats because it's me. And I just
so it makes it really interesting. Yeah.
Actually, one of the only things that we actually changed about this song going into the album, like this song really is like a mixed demo. And one of the only things we actually changed was to make the drum machine sound less trappy. It used to actually have like real like hip hop sample kind of things. Like it just had an 808. And we were like, this sounds wrong.
But yeah, it's essentially
Yeah.
it's indie trap.
It's indie trap.
Indie trap.
It's really just bedroom pop. But I love indie trap. There's definitely a market for it.
Unreliable is sort of a bastardized version of a song we had called Last Year, a song that we were never able to finish. Even though we played it live a couple of times, we were never really able to get it to work as a recording. And we realized, though, that when we were recording it, we had this really beautiful intro that we'd written that never really felt like we wanted to let it go. And it actually weirdly felt like it fit perfectly as sort of this break within the album.
We started with the intro to that song, and then we just kind of essentially kept adding layers and layers of different instruments till it became this like ambient just web of various like mellotron and just different keyboard sounds that we really loved. And then on top of that, we had, as we were making the album, we had a lot of like cue cards essentially that we had sitting around the home studio that were just like reminders of what we wanted to include. And one of them was use bird sounds, Australian bird noises. I think Sydney specifically, we have really quite noisy birds. Especially if you're going around anywhere at like sunset, you'll just hear like flocks of rainbow lorikeets just squawking the hell out of the street. And we really used those. We like kind of went around just with our phones and just recorded different birds and footsteps and various things to kind of include in that, just to give this real movie feeling, this kind of atmosphere to Unreliable in that kind of way. It's the last song we wrote on the album. We had most of the album actually recorded and done, and then sorry.
We had the album done pretty much.
Yeah.
I just love that you guys just nodded in the same time in unison. Like,
Yeah.
it was very funny. Anyway, yeah, we had like most of the album done, like completely recorded and mixed, and then, you know, we just started writing, and this song came out, and it was this instant. We were already kind of feeling like the album was missing a good love song, a good like song, like a good passion song. And we had No Way in Hell, but that was a bit like not quite as banger, to use an Addison word. And we just decided to smash it out like last minute, essentially, just kind of come through and like make the song happen. And it was very difficult. It started out as like a fully just like late 2000s kind of indie rock song. And then we're like, oh, maybe we should put acoustic guitars in there and make it all jangly, and then we ended up doing a bit of a mix of the both.
Yeah. I feel like what often isn't seen is the fact that what happens when we're making songs a lot of the time is we make one demo and then we make like so many demos that like try out all the different versions of it. Like we'll have a ska version, we'll have a no, we don't actually do that, but we do like an emo version. We have like all these different almost versions, types, like instrumentation choices, and then suddenly we'll be like, hey, actually maybe the original was it, but here's what we learned along the way and what we're going to bring into the final.
Because recording and writing music is fun.
Yes.
It's
so much fun.
So much fun. It's actually too much fun.
It was the most involved I felt on the album, because like the album was pretty much like written in this way, and then you asked me to join, and so like I kind of came in with the album already done, and then Addison Road happened, you know, a year after the recording, after the album. So like I was actually like involved in the process quite a lot more.
It was you saw the song really come out of fruition a lot of the time before, like prior to that, we were kind of more showing you songs at a slightly more developed place. But with Addison Road, it was like, here's this like really basic idea that I have a feeling could go somewhere, which is usually how I'm talking about songs with Scout.
And so I think I wrote like 5 different drum parts for the whole song.
Like, and so much of making music,
so many different drum parts.
Oh god.
I just remember Olive like showing me this demo and being like, I reckon this should go on the album, and I was like, oh, because we just finished recording it, and then they sort of looked at me and they're like, you know, like, come on, we need it, and I was like, we do need it. Oh.
Music video is right here. It was recorded like literally in
this room. We had all these.
It's my room.
And we had a bunch of lovely people who were dancing in the room as well. It was very extreme having that many people in what's really an average to small-sized bedroom.
I'm gonna forever associate this song with mannequins. I think just we had to gather a whole bunch of mannequins for the music video. And I was just driving all around Sydney to just find the cheapest ones we could. I mean, we haven't gotten rid of them. They're still in my room. Like, they sit outside of my window.
They're scary if you walk past your house.
Yeah, especially because
scary.
like I draw the curtains over them and then I have the light on inside, so there's this like red glow behind them, and they're just like silhouetted, just looking out the street. It's fucking hilarious. I just see people like walking past, like, whoa, like
yeah, that's frightening.
Every day. It's really good. I wrote this song after listening to Jaden Smith for the first time. He actually has some bangers, and pretty quickly New Friends was born. It was kind of a result of us also going on tour with Last Dinosaurs, so it was like a combination of Jaden Smith and Last Dinosaurs, you know, the chords of Jaden Smith over the lead guitar of Last Dinosaurs in that kind of way. If you can use your brain to imagine that. I was going through like a pretty major friendship breakup at the time, and I mean a lot of the album kind of is to do with that, this kind of feeling of letting people go, moving on, growing up, kind of letting go of high school friends in this kind of way, and it's a pretty brutal song. I think I was actually like reading out the lyrics, I was like, wow, the lyrics are literally just go and get new friends, ones that won't see through your fucking shit.
Ones that are stupid.
Yeah, ones that are stupid. I was like, geez, like, calm down.
I think something specific that's often quite Australian and often quite, especially growing up in a city, Australian, which is unlike America and even England, I think. When you go to university or when you leave school, most people don't leave home or move to go to university. That's not really a thing very commonly. So most people they finish high school and then they're still living at home, and then they go to university that's in the same city. And so you end up just still having the same friends from high school that you do, like even through whether you go to uni or not and young adulthood. And then instead of having that natural shed that would happen if you left. This song is interesting to me. I wrote it right after I moved out of home for the first time, and I was 22 and I'd just gone to play. We'd just played our first ever Big Sound, and so I'd met all these other musicians, and Egoism was like, really felt like it was doing something sort of for the first time, and I was sort of coming to a lot of realizations myself and growing into this new person and sort of dealing with a lot of stuff that had happened in my life as a result. And I remember writing it at this point where I almost couldn't even finish it. I just had these sort of loose lyrics and loose ideas, but it never really felt like it fully formed. It ended up taking like years for me to finish writing those lyrics. It's almost like I had to grow up to write them, had to grow up and really understand what I was feeling to actually go back and finish them and kind of understand them. This was one where a lot of the production I did myself. I was really influenced at the time by Clairo's first album, which I still think is genius. It's still one of my favorite albums, especially. I just think it's such good indie bedroom pop. And I really liked sort of the repetitive nature. I liked this sort of, I was also really obsessed with those CR 78 drums, the drum machine. And so I ended up putting together this very sort of introspective song that when I showed Olive. What did you think?
It was a really, 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 really good song.
Oh, thank you.
It was genius. It's like, it's the oldest song on the whole album. And there's a reason it lasted that long. It was just because it's just so strong. But we were really very close to not including it. It felt almost too vulnerable. And even only a few months ago, we were in a conversation being like, do we actually want this on the album? Is it kind of a bit of a downer? Is it like, does it take the mood down too much? But I'm really glad we decided to leave it on because it's really connected with a lot of people.
Yeah, I've had quite a few people send me messages with, you know, especially women come to me saying how much it means to them, talking about it's a very specific experience of girlhood and of growing up that I think is hard to put into words. And I tried my best with this song.
It's a pop punk song. It's literally a pop punk song that we turned into an indie song. God, I was listening to so much. I just kind of like got obsessed with The Story So Far and Knuckle Puck and just a lot of those kind of like third wave pop punk bands, and really wanted to write something like that with like a full like halftime chorus. Another late addition to the album, so it was very collaborative in this kind of way. Like we really finished that song together. Similar kind of thing where you came in and wrote all the drums and we wrote a lot of the lyrics together. Had this very much like, I would say it's like a later Egoism lyrically thing. Like it's like how do I put this? Like a lot of the lyrics that we started writing towards the end of the album were a little bit more positive, a little bit more about storytelling in this kind of way. We wrote, I love the line, back to uni on the 325.
It's funny, we used that bus route because it was right near essentially where the album cover was taken, if you want to get it. Like there's a bus stop like just there.
You can see it if you follow this.
There's like a bus stop there, and that's the 325 bus stop.
Yeah.
Do you remember Robbie coming in and writing like a synth part over the top, or was that a guitar?
Oh no, yeah. This song is actually how we decided to work with Robbie for the album, because we were going around to a bunch of people just seeing who was right, and no way in hell we wanted it to amp up, and he was just so good at bringing kind of ideas out of us. Like it sounded a bit more jangly in this kind of way and down tempo, and he just encouraged me to like start playing around with my pedals, and I put on the Fuzz Factory and like my fuzz pedal and just went direct into input, and just it gives it this really like synth-like kind of tone. It doesn't really sound like
I thought it was a
guitar.
synth when I heard it.
Yeah, but it's not. It's a guitar. It's just a guitar going through a fuzz pedal and through a vibrato pedal and then directly into an interface. And it really gave that like that's all just a guitar. It's just me on guitar, just like fully just really concentrating very hard.
What Robbie brought out of you was something I remember you used to say a lot when we were like 18. You would say, I love when guitars sound like synthesizers. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, which I got from Tame Impala.
Yeah.
this is such a deep track. This is such an album track. When we were like, we knew it was just gonna sit towards the end of the album, just kind of be this real like deep cut kind of thing.
I really love the line, "Still can't smell smoke, California haze." I think because that was somewhat inspired by the fact that you were looking back at a time where there were a lot of bushfires in Australia, and so there was just this constant haze of smoke in the air for like months and months and months. And it just instantly brought me back to that time when I heard you sing that. I loved it.
And I'm thinking about that actually because we wrote that during lockdown as well. And one of the, symptoms of COVID is not being able to smell.
Yeah.
So it's this combination of, it's very of its time, of that
Yes.
kind of like 2020, 2021 era where it was like smoke filling the air and a lot of people weren't able to smell because they had bloody COVID.
Yeah.
It was kind of like a dystopian era.
Yeah, but the whole
You
thing
think
is
about
just the metaphor for not being able to kind of know the difference between safety and danger in a sense of, in the context of personal trauma. I wrote it as like a message to someone being like, I know that you have so many things going on in your head. I know that your past haunts you, but I need you to know that you're safe with me and that you don't have to think about the past. You don't have to live in the past when you're with me. So it's a very warm song.
It always feels like when I listen to that song, for a while it was one of my favorites because it always did feel like a warm hug.
Yeah. Especially because the old version used to be really, really chill and really, really melodramatic, and then we're like, all right, let's get Adam on the drums and it.
Yeah. Well, I didn't even
Genius.
I didn't even write. I remember we're in the studio, and that song came up, and I remember being like, oh crap! This is the one song I haven't written properly for.
Yeah.
And I was like, guys, I'm so sorry, but I haven't really written the drums for this.
We fully winged it.
And then it's not a hard, I guess when you listen to it, it's not a hard song to play on the drums, but it was kind of like getting into the character of it to actually play it. And I remember one of you gave me like a prompt and I was like, got it.
What was the prompt?
I think it was play like Mama.
Yeah.
Like the band
I would
Mama.
have said that.
I think
Oh,
you said
yeah,
that, and I was like, oh, I understand the song.
There's some songs that I look back on the creation of and, you look and you're like, oh my God, there were so many versions. It was such a headache. But I always feel like this song was a lot easier. This song really, it just always felt like anytime there was any change, it just worked.
Yeah.
It just
we did a
fell
couple
into place.
tweaks. We just
Well, it's
knew it was
well, we're learning how to play it for live, and it has been like the most intuitive song to get right.
yeah.
And somehow I managed to sneak a blast beat in the album.
Wait, what?
At the end of the song, the way it ends, it's like a blast beat. Yeah.
It's the most
So-
indie blast beat I could possibly imagine. But
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah. Well, it is.
It's like
it
a
is
half speed blast beat.
It is, but it's there, and it makes me very happy.
That's true.
Beautiful.
Yeah. First people to do it. First people to do indie blast beats.
It's funny, 2 weeks ago I changed my bed sheets, and I was remembering that the last time that I changed them the week before, it was because my best friend just came over to stay with me and ended up staying in my bed. And she's a friend I've had since I was 4 years old, and we grew up constantly going to each other's houses and having sleepovers, and so having her stay over in my bed, we literally stood up giggling, stayed up so late giggling and telling stories, and I just suddenly remembered why I wrote Front Door, and it was for this friend who I just love, and I just always know that regardless of what happens, she's always going to be there, and I'll always be there for her. The sort of friend where you kind of know that it goes beyond just being a friend and you become family.
So funny because I thought you were gonna say, and I remember the last time I changed my bed sheets was when I wrote this song.
Oh my God. It just immediately flew out of me, this whole song. It almost, I think I wrote almost the whole thing and almost all the lyrics in one go. And I showed it to my friend, I think a week later, and she just sobbed. And I don't know, I think it always had to end the album. There's something really
Oh yeah, we knew as soon as we were going to the album, we knew that this was the
Yeah.
closing track. I think I played all the violins on the end and added some of the lead guitar parts, and then I remember when we recorded the drums to this, I cried. I fully I was in the other room watching like the drums because it's just so, especially in real life, we were fucking smashing those drums, just like, poosh, and I was just standing there like, this is it, like. That was
Really
another one
really
take
sweet.
song. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a. Yeah.
That was a one take. Yeah.
It's a simple part, but I felt like I could hear the emotion within the song. I might just be a drummer, but like I play. No, but like there's not really, you know, but I still I play quite emotionally, and
Yeah.
it's a funny thing. Like
You do play emotion. Yeah, it's the best closer I could ever ask for.
yes, it's really epic, real epic,
Epic song.
a somber epic.